even gets to perform his job as a split pusher.
That's very true. We did see him sometimes either you do a whole lot or Seraph is just kind of left out to dry. When he can get that split push game on, we saw what happened last time using the Jarvan to great effect, as you see on the bottom of the list, and that Talia for Niski as well. Very, very formidable.
Yeah.
Rumble banned out. Balls will obviously not get that. They really the Aurelion Soul for his top lane, if you will, to Fuhi's mid. Galio at least banned out for the side of FlyQuest.
Ooh, Kassadin ban here, jumping up. The LeBlanc was previously banned away by FlyQuest. In the game 1, they banned at least Galio, and then LeBlanc had dropped that for the Kassadin ban now.
Doing their Niski homework.
Yeah. These are different bans now as well from Envy. What happened last time in game 1 was they had banned Rumble, Zac, and Orianna, and now they've dropped the Orianna ban and picked up the Caitlyn ban because it got first picked in game 1 and was a big part of how Wild Turtle got player of the game there.
High on Assassins.
Split pushing Assassin too.
You remember his Fizz, Zed, Talon, LeBlanc are kind of three of the big ones, I think, a high. Echo falls in there somewhere at some point, but LeBlanc definitely on his in his wheelhouse. Lyra taking the lease in this time with the Rek'Sai up.
Yeah, Rek'Sai, I feel like a lot of people are kind of messing around with the power levels. Moon even messaged me, and he's just like, man, Rek'Sai sucks. I'm like, you know, if you don't get to do much for the first 9 levels of the game, then yeah, she definitely is in that wheelhouse of sucking a whole bunch. But we'll see here what happes, because that's interesting.
We've seen it unsuck.
Niski was very vocal there on his player cam during the first round of picks, and it looks like they just wanted to pick him Cassiopeia super early on.
He says, I'll take this. I mean, you play a good Cassiopeia inside the minions of the laning phase, and High is forced to distort to try and get his chains on. It's some big damage.
Yeah.
Kennen locked in here, and High will pick up Tahm Kench once again for Lemon Nation.
And that's going to be super interesting because now it's, what, 5 games in a row for Lemon Nation on Tahm Kench? So this train has not stopped, but the Kennen going over to FlyQuest. They talked about it where Envy leaves Kennen up, and then they try to play Jace or Renekton into it. And yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to run the Renekton into it here and try to win that matchup. So split pushing galore here for both teams, except it's 1-3-1 for FlyQuest and 4-1 for Team Envy. And we'll see what happens, because you think back to game 1 with the Cassiopeia for Niski, and he kept being pulled to a side lane and never really got to team fight. And that was kind of the demise of Envy, where Niski had so much gold, he had such a large lead, he was levels up, and then all of a sudden, he's not able to use it ever.
Yep. 9 seconds here in the ban. Think Card chatting with the team on the side of FlyQuest for ban phase 2, and they decide it's a Bard. Playmaking from Hakuo gets locked out.
Remember what I said after game 1? I was like, Envy, if they had a different support instead of the Karma, and they had like a Bard, you're looking for the picks, because the Cassiopeia is so hard to get in and start fights. That would have helped them out a lot.
The Rek'Sai gets taken away from Moon. I wondered if that was going to be a late leave so that he would get a champion Envy saw that he may have felt uncomfortable on. Not knowing, obviously. But one last ban here from FlyQuest.
This could be a switcheroo here. This could be, all right, hear me out, could be AD Kennen, and they could pick Jarvan here, and maybe even flex that. I have no idea, right? But I assume it's a top lane Kennen for balls because he did so well on it. But we'll see what happens.
And that changes as well with the show of Renekton. Maybe that gets them something else. So Hakuo having a pretty great Braum game just last game. He'll be on that once again. We'll have to see. Maybe it is that top. Maybe it's the Ziggs app AD carry.
I actually would really like that.
So they can drop turrets, a little more pressure here for when they do get somewhat of a split push going on those structures.
Exactly. Wave clear, so whenever you have a 1-3-1, you need to have some form of wave clear on your jungler or your AD carry, and it's typically the AD carry that does it. And I like that they picked the Ziggs for this, because they'll be able to nuke down turrets. It allows them to play AD in other lanes like the Kennen and now the Jarvan, which is going to go to the jungle here for Moon. But the Ziggs, man, I think this will help FlyQuest a lot with the issues they were having, because they can wave clear, they can kill turrets themselves, and they have a good 3-man unit in their core for the 1-3-1, whereas Envy, they have to look for pick and engage here. And how do you get in as Cassiopeia on a Ziggs? It gets pretty tough.
Incredibly tough. You just get bounced out by a satchel. Trying to see what Niski's positioning will be. Obviously, he's actually taken a few fights on his own. He'll be apart from where the 4 and the 1 is. He won't be by Apollo and Hakuo. We saw Niski quite separated in the fights, but holding them well. Cassiopeia Makes that a little bit more dangerous, but you can also stand toe-to-toe with the best if you play it right.
Yeah, you can stop the LeBlanc distortions with your grounded effect, with your miasma. And we want to see what Apollo does here. The guy's been a standout AD carry this split so far. Did kind of teeter off a little bit and hasn't had superstar performances in this week. So we're seeing what Wiz Fusion can do on that classic Varus. Reach back.
Pull from the old. Get those stats back in. Think card Violet. Head off to the back. This is game 3, the last and final game here of week 4 for FlyQuest and Team EnVy. Hashtag FlyWin, hashtag EnVyWin, as we're all tied up. And these teams once again about to push each other to the brink.
We'll see how the Jarvan works for Moon this time, because he went for level 2 ganks multiple games in a row up against Bjergsen. Is it going to be another red buff into level 2 gank onto a Cassiopeia, which I think you could fare very well against a Cassiopeia as a Jarvan.
See the logos up on stage. The players are ready. The fans are ready. We are on to the Rift. FlyQuest versus EnVy. And whether or not these guys give each other a hard time, we find out who's the victor of the match right here.
And also if EnVy can break that red side curse that's been plaguing them a bit, 1-9 in that record.
So much.
But Seraph once again on a split pusher where if this Renekton gets behind, it becomes a very difficult game for them to navigate. Because if he gets behind, he's then going to have to deal with both balls and high. But if he gets ahead, he might be able to beat both of them. He has to be able to hold up against either or, because it's a 1-3-1. And you can always make the 1-3-1 a 4-1 and have your stronger singular split pusher in that side lane. So if you have high able to beat the Renekton, then Seraph's still in a bad spot. So he has to get some sort of lead here.
And this, again, late game is a composition High loves to shot call. Little pieces everywhere, always moving, different lanes, and able to create options. It's going to be a while before we get there. And as we said, EnVy has the early game lead most of the time. Refillable potions, machetes for the junglers. Looks like they will start off without giving each other too much trouble once again.
Minions have spawned.
Possibly red buff start here for Moon into a level 2 gank, but we shall see. No Raptor start here. It's been very common for the past few months. And so we'll see. Yeah, and you can see Balls is also kind of keeping track of, is it a Raptor start? Where is this jungler? Sees that he's not there. Sees that they don't get pulled.
Question mark.
And then the bot side, it's not a complete fake leash. They aren't using mana.
Don't use mana. Show pretty early with when the minions would meet.
And they also warded. You see on mid, there's actually a ward from, I believe it's Hakuo put that one down, right there to make sure there isn't a level 2 gank.
You gotta be wondering, it's something that they're trying to sneak in quite early. EnVy.
Oh, wait.
Getting to the lane and actually playing it very strong.
Moon's ganking from the other side. He knows that that ward went down, and he's gonna try to gank Niski from the opposite side.
He flashes in to make Niski flash. Can they capitalize? What a play and mind game going on Niski first.
And this is something that you almost never appreciate as a spectator, is they had wards on the bottom side. They knew that Moon started there, and then instead of doing another camp, he spends so much time, and it could have been wasted going to the other side of the map. And as a mid laner, you play to the opposite side that you last saw the jungler. So Niski is playing that right, and Moon is manipulating the vision.
So nicely done as well to flash onto Niski to say, we're right here. You have to flash.
Oh, he's going to go for it again.
Yeah, why not? Moon can still flag and drag. That flash being down is Niski dead. Well, he may not think of it right away.
And High also has W and E, so it could be another kill here. Niski.
High's playing to the top left side. Gets a ward in. It might have tipped him off just a little bit. But High still so much control of the lane, and that helps.
A lot of damage already. Just because he hit level 3, High was able to throw a Q in there too. So yeah, super slow jungle routes, but they're just trying to set them behind here. And also, Niski has to play it safe because he knows that Jarvan was on this side, but his ward is inside of the brush, not inside of the lane at all, so he wouldn't be able to see that there he goes, puts the other ward over the wall for the Raptors to know that that went down. And you can see Niski already down a ton of CS in this mid lane because of that gank.
So what they did yesterday to his Syndra, he was able to level out games on Cassio and Syndra until they hit him hard. And actually repeat gank that quite a few times. That may be High's call to stay off. I have this lane now because as a LeBlanc, you can do quite a bit of damage here without knowing you're pulling in Lyra with your jungler.
And all these minions. Yeah, you'll be able to pick up some of them as the Cassiopeia.
Snakes.
Missed about 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, got it.
All right, so yeah, you can see the difference in the CS, and that's going to be the TP back into the lane from High. It is a cannon minion wave, so it's a good time for Niski to back.
Yeah.
But High has enough to kind of clear these waves out and get the better of them.
28 to 29 on the bot side. We don't expect much to be happening here as Wild Turtle and Lemon always can go aggressive, but they've been playing this Devour safety lane for so long now. Past 5 games for Tom Kench, or Elimination on Tom Kench.
Yeah, it's been all about safety for keeping Wild Turtle there and alive, and I like this for them, and I think this Ziggs is going to be a pick that does work out for them. I like seeing this one here when you try to round out a composition that needs some wave clear and wants to 1-3-1, so we'll see.
That's synergy. They just ate a biscuit at the same time.
Looking for the empowered stun.
Waiting for that E.
Ah, he predicted the flash.
Yeah.
Lyra was kind of leading him there.
You see Ball smiling. He's like, nice try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's also like, I guess I didn't need to flash there as well. After the Q came out. So, little jumpy, I guess.
Why not? You don't want to be the one to really make something happen this game that falls back. Oof. At FlyQuest, already with a lead to High in the mid lane. We wondered how this LeBlanc could fare. And Niski's not having fun. Keeping within a range of 5 to 6 CS, we'll see how much that gets troublesome.
Yeah, and because High's not drawing too much minion aggro when he goes for those trades, he's ending up very far ahead in Niski in terms of how much damage he's dealing versus taking. It was good from Envy to actually push that all the way to the turret, so Wild Turtle does miss out on some CS as he backs for Lost Chapter. But now, interrupts Hakuo, doesn't get to interrupt Apollo though, and that's the person you want to interrupt. High?
Oh, you're...
He wants to go for it.
So
right?
close.
But he doesn't know. Oh, if he W's.
You're ready to take this. Did he connect the Q? High got Distortion back quick enough. There's no cripple to come through. Looking to land it, and they do! Patience pays off, and Niski baits down to 150 HP.
Yeah, they knew that he didn't have his flash available, so the grounded goes back onto where the W came from, and this was a big bait. You can see High has vision on the bottom side of his river,
right?
And this is just too aggressive of a play. The barrier comes out as well.
What a read from Lyra. That was mid-distortion. He got there first. That shield hit the damage of High and stopped a bit of it.
Yeah, and Lyra, right place, right time for sure. Also the synergy, I mean, he hasn't really had much time to play with Niski. Niski recently got back in the country 4 or 5 days ago, and hasn't had too much scrim time lately with the team. So the fact that he's able to kind of orchestrate that play alongside his jungler is big.
So at this point,
they know he doesn't have flash, so
Lightning Rush is not used unless you know it's in the escape, and this could be a very dead top lane for FlyQuest. Ball's going down with one last hit, and it's a kick to the butt side. That's going to be Lyra coming up with a kill.
Facepalm there from Niski. He knew his flash wasn't up for a little bit longer and went for the duel, and it looked like he actually focused down something else. I had to see that again. I think he broke his focus on which one was which.
And 1 for 1 across the map. Helps out quite a bit. Replay as well for this mid lane back and forth.
Yeah, so Niski doesn't have flash for a few more seconds here, despite what it shows you. And then when they break, he goes after the wrong one there with one Twin Fang, but I don't think that's the difference there. And he's just, instantly back into it.
You know,
no time. No time.
It can't. You know, that's one of the really impressive things in what as well. You kind of sit at home and you let each play affect you for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. These guys, they don't have time to say, oh, I'm sorry I did that. It's clear comms. The team knows they died top. They're going to correct it. They're going to try to come back harder. Hakuo, very, very low here. One last hit. Oh, he keeps himself alive as High just couldn't get out enough autos with his cooldowns waiting to come up.
Yep.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, wasn't able to get enough damage there, but good shield from Hakuo, and doesn't even blow his flash either, or exhaust, so keeps a cool head.
And dodges. This is also a learning game as well for High and Niski. Niski's trying to figure out which way High is throwing those. He's now starting to trend down more with his dodges. High may realize that and start throwing the chains down as Niski could be dodging into them. Such a mind game between the Cass and the LeBlanc here that they have made in the mid lane. Close in CS still as FlyQuest start to take the first dragon of the game.
I'm looking at a some runes here, and looking at Cassiopeia's base magic resistance is 30, and Niski started the game with 34, so not full magic resistance against the LeBlanc.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of autos in there too. He doesn't have any armor in his runes as well, so it's a very aggressive slash scaling page from Niski.
Well, I think we can see that it did hurt him a little bit early game.
You see every time that the LeBlanc tries to go for a trade.
Yeah. Taking quite a bit of damage, and he ran that barrier along with it to make sure he can take these trades if they do come in. Moon made it a little too hard to start, but Niski has got himself a retribution kill. Hai now down to the bot side. We do not yet have a turret down, but they're going to start switching things up, and looks like Niski gets to go up against Turtle Elimination.
Okay, maybe. I think they'll adjust the lanes and bring their Varus mid for the wave clear.
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah.
Just for the time being.
Gotcha, yeah, he'll just back up. His turret, pretty full HP, so don't think it's gonna drop anytime soon. Checking on the runes from Niski. Magic penetration, he's got 3 magic resist runes, and scaling cooldown reduction, and scaling health. So no armor, no MR, that's fine. The scaling health is a very worth rune, but the LeBlanc will build some AD like the Bilgewater Cutlass like he has now. So you do have to be a little bit weary when it comes to the fact that Hai will deal a lot of damage to this Cassiopeia, who's looking to scale. So the runes are built for that. Yeah.
The 1-2 punch is always so effective, and that's something Hai can do over and over again. Now that he's in that situation, Niski obviously will need a bit more support towards the bot side.
That was a flash from Lyra, and they're going to try to turn it around.
Oh, Lyra did not expect to be knocked up with what happened on the end of the flag and drag. That's going to be a chomped up Moon. Can he get over the wall? Seraph just out of range. The exhaust from Elimination coming in immediately to try and mitigate that, and now they will start to drop members of FlyQuest behind. Envy also low in this fight. Falls, looks to go down. One last shot for Hai. The poison's ticking. He will fall. Now they're going to turn onto Balls, be able to clean him up. It was such a wait for anybody to be grabbed who was for sure going into the fight, and Envy felt like they had the upper hand finally.
Yeah, a very strange fight here from both sides, but Envy come out on top. And Wild Turtle ended up dropping too. Aqua trying to get the maximum.
The min-max, that's what it is right there, some of it. We'll see this replay again in a minute, but the first time the teams have really met, and we see what happens here early game.
Yeah, Moon goes for clearing a ward, and then the flash from Lyra is right in front, but can't get the kickoff in time. Niski doesn't get the stun on anybody either, so he goes down, but Lyra goes down. But look at this flank from Balls, tries to come around, and really can only get to Niski here. So he duels Niski, whereas everybody else is trying to pick up Seraph, and the cooldowns and the rotation from Hai still doesn't have much CDR in this build. Whereas Apollo and Hakuo got to play off on that left side. And Moon had already bailed out, so not able to really help out here.
Yeah.
And he just turns tail and runs afterwards. So yeah, the fact that Moon got out.
Lemon running around.
Did.
I can only eat so many people.
I know, he's like, it's like when your children are all running around, you got multiple ones, like, stop touching that, you stop, no, come back here.
That's hot, don't do that. Step away. Safety. Safety is the #1 thing, and that's the pick to try to get out with that Tom Kench. Able to save Moon. The cooldown just wasn't there for the rest of the teammates as Niski and the rest of Envy start to collapse down a little bit here on the plays. That was for Drake. That Drake went over to FlyQuest still in the end.
Well, Lemon didn't bring anybody.
Abyssal Voyage to the top.
So you gotta watch out for this though. There's a lot.
Oh! They just hit the Gunblade onto Seraph to try and get a little extra damage in. This is gonna be Wild Turtle's kill. Whoa! Dominus comes out. They should be able to lock up Turtle. Safeguard over to Seraph. He lives! What is this nonsense? Hai able to take a kill for himself towards the top side. They give Apollo to him. And he goes to the other side of Hakuo. Playing a little game of cat and mouse. And there's Lyra once again, the resonating strike to finalize the kill. They'll be all over Lemon Nation. Hard skin to come through. I don't think it's going to be enough. Bot lane has just been a quick fight.
The Q-take!
Good wait from Lyra. Finishes that kill, saying the bot lane, Niski versus Balls. Not much going on down there, just the push from Envy.
Man, FlyQuest are a little bit too fast on what they want to do with this composition.
One more time.
And right there, this looks like it's going to be a great ultimate from Wild Turtle. But now he's off on a split push side. Doesn't really get enough on this flank. And then Lyra comes around, picks up the kill. Lyra, after getting the Warrior enchant, now 4-1-1 after that fight. able to do so much work here. This is just barely on the edge, hits high.
Oh, that dodge.
Gives Seraph a little bit more HP there. Survive and come back in. So right now, Envy, even though we talked about how the game, those games on red side typically don't favor them, 1-9 and so far in record.
Yeah.
This one starts off on the right foot for them.
You were right about the lane swaps, but they're still happening as High. Now to the top side. Niski still bot, as we thought the AD carry supports mid, like 5 seasons ago type of stuff, with all the turrets up, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Still fun to watch.
And Wild Turtle will get to the point where his ultimate chunks people like Apollo and even Niski, but that's far away. And now that FlyQuest have taken back-to-back fights that have not worked out in their favor, they end up in a very awkward position where High wants to split push. He's 2 levels down on Seraph. Niski's also up on him right now, just barely in terms of experience and in CS. So these mid laners, nope. Niski was struggling early because he got a lot of attention and was camped, but now High is struggling because he's going up against Seraph, who is pretty far ahead right now.
Few shots, Gunblade, and it actually takes Seraph down quite low. High with the blue buff should be able to do it again.
Look at everybody coming up here. Apollo, Hakuho, even Lyra's in this area. And, oh!
I blinked! I blinked for a second, and Lyra again is wiping people off.
He delivered
the
Turtle!
Map. Oh my word, right into the back of the fight. Turtle had no chance at that point, and Lyra coming up huge for the team, and then they're able to continuously capitalize on FlyQuest that is just in chaos.
Yeah, I mean, they're like moths to a flame. There's a fight, High's in trouble, everybody get in here, gentlemen, let's go. And Lyra gets there first. They have the river control. They're on top of the Scuttle Crab. Moon goes in before he really sees that High is going to get blown up here. He wants to buy time. High wants to come down and try to kill maybe Apollo, but Moon already has gone in. Wild Turtle threw the ultimate and then took the ultimate, gets delivered, and then they just get cleaned up. That's 4 for 0. FlyQuest just get mopped up, and Envy now have a much larger lead than they had even just a moment ago. That's 3 back-to-back-to-back fights that FlyQuest really were trying to collapse on that get turned around. They got to play slower. I feel like that's just a huge issue here for FlyQuest, is playing slow, because they try to set the tempo, and then Envy are like, oh, that's a good pace for us. Let's go.
I mean, that's almost the point, right? If High has got those 4 kills, he was 4-3, then goes top side. If he can stay alive, everybody yo-yos the pressure mid, which means back and forth, make the fight look good, but don't take it. And then they say, wait, the 4-kill guy's getting ganked, and you're right. They fly right towards him like a moth to a flame.
Yeah, the vision not really controlled very heavily here.
Yeah.
And you can see just levels up across the board. Seraph is up a level. You also have Apollo up 2 levels right now. Lyra was predicting off to the left side.
So many chains. He gets out alive.
Yeah, and that's fine from High to do that. But you do have to watch out for how the map is going to collapse now. Rift Herald in possession of Envy. Lyra does have that. So as soon as he uses that and tries to get a turret, we'll see what happens. Could be a bottom lane collapse. They need that first turret still.
See if it happens here. Like you said, Lyra cross map right now, globe-trotting. 3 different junglers across this series, from Rek'Sai Elise now to Lee Sin, showing well on every single one of them. It's hard to take control of your jungle when this guy is in game, and it almost has been since he's entered the league. Those games he's unlocked, he looks unstoppable. See where the pressure continues as Lyra goes back for the dragon. Now spawned, an Ocean Drake over the side of Envy could help him hang out in lanes. They have some good sustain already, so this would just synergize well.
And we talked about the split push and how Seraph kind of needs to get online to be able to beat both High and Balls. He's in that position right now with the Black Fever completed, and it looks like Blade of the Ruined King or Bilgewater Cutlass next for the slow.
Yep.
Possibly Ravenous Hydra, but we don't see that item very often now at all, especially on Renekton, who already has good wave clear. But we'll see. They're looking for that 1 turret. That top turret's super low.
Vision slows things down, but whenever you see somebody across the map, you might get the 1v1 there between Niski and High. Goes in favor of High, but Niski also may look to bait out those barrier moves. Pressure now in mid lane for Envy, and it does not look like this is going to be stopped. Need to go for 2 turrets or at least this damage, and obviously second tier full health turret torpedo.
Yeah, and now you want to stop this Rift Herald from walking up and get another hit. Go hit the eye. Oh. Nope. that doesn't work.
Just missed, but now you know.
Yeah. I mean, there was a bug for a little bit that got fixed where Tahm Kench could actually devour the Rift Herald.
I don't believe you. Bugs? No.
You could devour it, and the first time we found that was one of my teammates devoured it as it was charging. So it looked like it just ran into his mouth and got really small. Like, wait, what the? But yeah, you can do that. But can't satchel charge it.
Nope.
You can Bard ulti the turret, save it that way.
That's true.
The Rift Herald actually does no damage to itself when it does that, and then it never charges again on that same turret. So
that's pretty troll.
Yeah, it tries to
that.
attack it. It's good.
It's good. It's good. 7K gold lead here for Envy as once again having those early game leads, but there are thousands and thousands of gold when they have them, which makes it even more troublesome.
This is a 2-on-2.
This makes it troublesome. Oh, the 2-on-2 happens. Moon comes out of nowhere. Niski was not expecting that. A kick and a hit. The gunblade from high as he finishes off a kill onto Niski, and Lyra is out of here as he finds himself a safeguard to the rest of his team living in Fly's jungle. Interesting. See if they can get out of this one. It doesn't mean they're in trouble, but they're definitely not out of the woods.
Yeah, but they are going to pick up a kill there. It's going to go over to High, who really does need to get that split push going. He's up in gold right now. He's sitting on 1,800 gold, so he does need to spend what's in his coffers right now. But yeah, they're sieging bottom lane. They don't have Wild Turtle here. Doesn't have the ultimate either to kind of clear this out. And High's using the distortion less for setting up the wave and more for trying to push. Or push out these guys.
Nice block. Akuo should be all right in this situation. A game of cat and mouse right now between Turtle and Seraph as Seraph chases Turtle out of mid lane. He's forced to run through the jungle on the mini-map. But back to this bottom turret, very low, and it looks like Apollo and Akuo aren't going to give up until they find that damage that they need. Balls will do.
Oh, there's the stun.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, Abyssal behind them. Wait a minute, FlyQuest taking the full Abyssal Voyage, thinking High would be able to teleport in and assist the fight. They might still be able to. Hard skin on elimination. He goes down without being able to help. And now it's going to be Envy looking around. They say bottom turret still? Yes, it's left to Seraph. They're going to go ahead and move mid.
Yeah, they don't want that mid turret to go down. You leave that alone with High, who has a Sheen right now, and then also the damage that would come through from the Satchel Shard, be able to pick it up really quickly. And now you're in danger of getting kicked back by Lyra. There it is.
Absolutely amazing game for Lyra unleashed here. 7-1-3, 2150 in. Baron in the eyes of Envy. Let's see if they get Seraph up here in time.
They haven't started it yet.
Yeah.
Niski has blue buff. I feel like this is the perfect time to start it.
That was interesting. The scuttle doesn't get taken. It wastes a little bit of time. It's going to be a Mega Inferno Bomb if anything comes through.
About it.
But it could be also Seraph over the wall of blue buff. And it will be. He could get himself into trouble here. 4v1 situation. Oh, he flashes onto Turtle. Seraph feeling huge right now. It's enough for the team to get out and him. So everything's okay in the end. Pretty crazy play, though.
But Envy have just shot up to this gigantic lead. They are 11,000 up in 22.5 minutes. It's pretty ridiculous what happened. They took 3 really bad fights on FlyQuest side, and then this here, Balls just, as soon as they saw High back, they just went in. They got the tag, looked like it didn't matter to them, but then turned it around there, and High TP's in, but this is 5 members strong from Envy in the bottom side. Envy are making power plays across the map with their gold advantage.
The thing about an upper hand fight like that as well is you get the chance to assess the next situation when you see the Abyssal Voyage, you see the teleport, you instantly put those in order of how you want to take that priority. If you're the one engaging, then it's a lot more chaos when, oh shit, run away from this teleport. Oh my god, run away from this Abyssal Voyage. But there, they take the fight into their own hands.
And like the last few Abyssal Voyages just been delivering Lemon to his death. Yeah. Wild Turtle where he brought him in. But these fights, they're happening too fast. That's the thing is, FlyQuest are like literally 2 seconds too slow on the response, and it loses them the fight. Because if they're there a little earlier or collapse a little faster, then they're in good shape. But Balls, soloed out by Seraph here, who's up 2 levels.
And Envy's going to make quick work of the inhibitor turrets as well. A much faster game than game 1 and 2. 50 minutes to get through game 1 here in sub 25. They're in the base and breaking inhibitors, but Envy's also keeping it the method to the madness true. They are not going too crazy here. That's Seraph's job. They're going to go down to the bot side now.
Yeah, Baron buffed up minions, going to get cleared out there by Wild Turtle's ultimate. and this bottom lane wasn't able to turn online. There's just so much gold across the board for Envy. You just look at the score lines for them. Niski's kind of the only person who, got camped early, got left out to dry, but then the team fights happened after Niski would die, and everybody else is kind of soaking in the gold now. It's just flying in.
Nicely able to absorb that pressure as well. The team probably behind him, letting him know everything's all right. We are making strides in this game. And like you said, Envy looking to go 500 here week 4, even in their scoreline if they can get this victory. 19-6, it only looks so much farther away from them as they start to put the finishing touches on the base.
Yeah, and now with those 2 inhibitors down, it's a long time before there's an Elder Dragon, and it's a bit longer before there's another Baron. So there's 1 minute left on this Baron buff. Everybody top lane, I would believe. The Cloud Drake, nobody gives a damn about that. Sorry, Freak.
Well, sometimes, what if when there's two?
No.
When there's two?
Well, then that's when you get the Zoom Zoom, according to Chad. The Zoom Zoom comes online. But I feel like now you don't need that Cloud Drake. You just want to kill Drakes and get to that Elder Dragon, if anything. But I feel like you don't want that to happen. You just want to end the game before 35 minutes even rolls around as Envy.
And that's something that Dash and Mark brought up on the analyst desk as well. When you have the X13,000 gold lead, when does it come when you take that definitive fight and you just take the Nexus down?
Yeah.
No hesitation. None really yet so far from Envy, so they're staying out of that. Here they are in the last outer turret before they get to the base of FlyQuest.
Seraph 3 levels up right now on this Renekton. The guy has been going crazy this game. High. Getting some damage back onto Lyra, and is trying to protect his turret. Even with the wave clear of Wild Turtle, it's still not at that point yet where they feel really good about clearing out all these minions.
11 turrets on the map per side. 3 more to be dropped for FlyQuest, and they have yet to find one of Envy's, which means a whole lot of gold sits out there in front of them, but they haven't been able to approach it since 15, even 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, like, is that 14,000 gold worth of turrets left for them? I feel like there's a lot of other things going on here. They can't pick up those turrets, but right now, FlyQuest very far behind, but Envy in a prime position. Yeah, now you have to pull Wild Turtle to go kill the bottom wave.
Right.
Super Minions take extra damage from magic damage because they have negative 30 MR, 100 armor. So it's really easy for a Ziggs to kind of clear them out. That's what Wild Turtle will be looking to do, but you only have so much wave clear. You can only pull yourself so thin.
Lyra getting High's attention.
Moon, what?
Moon gets 2, Apollo and Hakuo in that one, but the Cataclysm was Envy's to work with. Boss is going to go down. Slicing Maelstrom does not stop much on that, as it's going to be the kill for Apollo. Envy looking to put the final touches on, and they are not playing with their food this time. They head straight for the dessert bar, and that's the Nexus. 27 minutes in, continuously getting stronger throughout this matchup. With finding a few clubs along the way, Envy will bring themselves to even in the scoreline. 500 here at week 4. Envy take down FlyQuest.
And Envy? Well, killing the Nexus. It'll happen eventually. There we go.
Hey, Envy take down FlyQuest.
Want to say it again?
2's good.
Okay. Yeah, they take down FlyQuest, and now Envy have a better record than they did in spring with 4 wins in terms of matches.
Right.
So you can see, happy about that. Niski getting a win as well in his first week.
FlyQuest, a few strides himself, but again, it seems like the composition doesn't come together. They stray from a certain win condition with their slight lead, and then they can't seem to ever grasp one once again because they just get shut out in their attempts.
Yeah, it was just kind of fast skirmishes over and over and over again. And when I even look just at the damage, it looks as though FlyQuest did more damage overall than you see being dealt from Envy. Envy, Niski got shut down, did less damage than Lyra, did only 1,000 damage more on that Cassiopeia than Braum. But it's the rest of the team that was able to step up, which is a good sign for a team like Envy, where they were having troubles in their mid lane before. Period came in, kind of remedied some of those. Niski's come in, and the whole team is just playing better.
It's that behind-the-scenes guy. He might die every round if you're playing Counter-Strike, but he diffuses the bomb before he dies, and that's what you need. It's all unseen. But the points aren't on the scoreboard sometimes. It really comes from the effect you have on your team. And you can't always just look at the score like you said.
Exactly. You can't look at the score. You can't always look at the damage and see, oh, what champion were they playing? Oh, LeBlanc is a lot of poke and, like, had a good matchup and, like, Moon camped for it. So that was kind of a game where you saw everything from FlyQuest, right? They had the level 2 where it worked out on Niski, and then LeBlanc was ahead. And then they kept trying things over and over and over again. They lost their side lanes. They lost bot and top. They had bad skirmishes. And then it just really fell apart. And so this from FlyQuest is kind of, you can look at a whole bunch of points in this game and be like, that didn't go well for them. They have a lot of review to do with that. But it's always easier said than done. When you say, oh, we should have collapsed earlier. It's like, well, how do you fix that problem when I had a minion wave to clear? So that's a back and forth in communication and everybody being on the same page.
It also starts to become a little of a one-way road. When you take Tahm Kench that many times, when you only have a certain amount of things, and you're still trying to play Ziggs, which is compatible with compositions, but we're not really seeing full meta compositions from these guys. When happy from FlyQuest, that's kind of their bread and butter to be able to bring out cool strategies, but it seems to be even taking them down some roads they don't want to.
Yeah, I feel like this wasn't so much a compositional failure. I feel it was those collapses, right? There's a lot of fights where they lose it, and then they have another fight immediately after to try and get back in the game. They lose it, and they're like, all right, one more time. Third time's a charm to lose the game for them. And that's exactly what happened. So FlyQuest kind of got a little too big for their britches and went forward too many times in a row. And then Envy was able to just take over that game in a 27.5-minute win. So Envy were able to play it out pretty cleanly once they got a lead for themselves, but it's just a pretty rocky start for them in terms of Niski kind of struggling in the mid lane when he got a little bit outplayed by jungle pathing and the team play with the warding.
For sure, and it seems like they also tried to help him. I feel like when Envy kind of has that situation, we see in this win, 4-0-9, 7-1-6, the scores are great. Everybody does good, and they keep on that level where, hey, we're doing good, don't be that one guy to kind of get caught out.
Don't be the guy.
You never want to do that, but when Envy do get the losses, it's actually kind of like the team losses there. It's not just one guy getting hit. They're still trying to protect him and still trying to make it work.
Yeah, but no loss right now on red side, so that curse is a little bit broken. They're now 2-9 on red side, so looking a little bit better for them there.
It's got to feel good. For more on that series win for Envy, let's send it over to Freak and Envy's rookie in the mid lane.
Thank you very much. Yes, there's competition for Rookie of the Split here. Niski in the mid lane for Team Envy. You got that win over FlyQuest. Talk to me, coming into your first week now with the team, how has it felt playing on stage with Envy?
I mean, playing on stage is like really exciting for me since I never played on stage before. I mean, an LCS stage at least. And yeah, it was just exciting.
So talk to me about your sort of decision to come over to North America and play in the North American LCS. Of course, you qualified in with Fnatic Academy over in Europe, unless I'm forgetting. And so talk to me about coming over for Envy with a bunch of foreigners around you, people you don't probably know very well. Talk to me about your decision to move across the world to play pro.
I mean, after qualifying for LCS in Europe, I wanted to play LCS, of course, but I wasn't, it wasn't like 100% sure that I would play LCS in Europe. So when I saw the opportunity for EnVyus to like take me as a rookie, as mid laner, then I just came and yeah, I just want to play LCS.
Yeah, just the desire to play, of course. So talk to me about playing with sort of new people for you. You've got some Americans on your left, some Koreans on your right. Talk to me about fitting in with a multinational team.
I mean, I don't really think it matters, like if you play with Koreans or Americans or like Europeans or stuff. I think the most important thing in a team is like the team dynamic. Like if everyone is playing good together and if you can like short call or like if you know what to do, when to do in game and be friends out of the game, then I think you can just play with whoever you are and yeah.
Well, of course. So talk to me about the team dynamic in game then. What is your job? What do you do to make sure this team works together as five?
I mean, from my part, for now, I'm trying to like help Lyra out because I mean we all know that like Lyra is the kind of carry jungler right now, and yeah, I'm just trying to like relieve him because I just want to play like pressure mid and stuff. I mean, it didn't work out this game, but but yeah, that's basically it.
So talk to me about the fact that you weren't able to play for the first 3 weeks here. You're here watching Pyrian play in the mid lane in your stead. Was it nerve-wracking? Was it scary, like watching your team play without you and hope you can jump in?
I mean, I was kind of scared a bit because Pyrian played like really good. And then I wasn't sure how I'll do on stage as well. And with the team, if I could adapt or not, since I didn't really play with them before. But I think we did quite good for like, because we only practiced like 3 or 4 days. And I think we did quite good with the amount of practice that we had.
Yeah, 4 days, you got a match win. It's got to feel great for you. So final question, I want to know, what are your goals for this split here? What's going to be a successful split for Niski at the end of 2017?
I mean, I don't really have like any goals. Maybe just like improve at first because I have like a lot to learn. And yeah, I think just improve and win as much as possible, I think.
All right, well, Niski, thank you very much. Congratulations on the win. Analysts, take it away.
Thank you very much. Freak Niski getting his opportunity to play on the LCS stage. As was mentioned, he qualified with Fnatic Academy over in Europe, but now making his LCS debut here in North America. And as Freak mentioned, to close out the first week on the stage with 1-1 match score, not something to, to shake your head at in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think he said they had 3 or 4 days of practice compared to the fact that it's week 4. Most teams have been playing for at least 5-6 weeks together. It's a little understandable that you would have some, synergy problems, which is one of the things that we said was most noticeable that was between him and Pyrian, was that Pyrian seemed to gel better with the team. Well, he's been playing with them longer, so it's not that unfathomable that it's like, oh, this guy, he's going to need a little minute to get used to things.
Yeah, very much so. But if we go into this game specifically, he even mentioned it himself. He got focused there. That level 2 gank comes through from Moon to put High in a nice position. But Lyra intelligently ganking back and getting Niski, back into the game alongside the 2 different lanes, top and bottom.
And he tried to play it correctly. They got the early ward out to stop the red buff to mid lane gank. Moon played it smart, wrapping around to the far side. He's trying to play somewhat aggressive against LeBlanc level 1 because that's when you have one of your most advantageous power spikes. Actually, it is level 1, so you don't want to concede it. And it's just unfortunate that Moon kind of outplayed him. It was a good idea by FlyQuest, but his team has his back. They get him back in the game. Small mistake giving up the solo kill.
Yes, absolutely. Small mistake giving up the solo kill, but ultimately isn't going to make a difference in the grand scheme of the game. And funnily enough, Game 3 mirrored a lot of Game 2 in that Envy gets out to such a ridiculous lead off the back of intelligent moves from Lyra that it's just insurmountable at that point. And once again, it's making it really hard for us here on the desk to determine whether or not Envy is actually a good team in terms of a well-rounded team, meaning could they close out a game if it were even? Do they understand how to rotate around the map in more even scenarios? Yes, it's fantastic if you can get 7K gold leads at, 15 minutes. I'd love to see that every game. But the nature of competitive League of Legends is that you will not get 7K gold advantages in every single game.
FlyQuest is the kind of team that's almost perfect for Lyra, where they don't seem to coordinate super well in their plays. The games get scrappy, and Lyra being such a mechanical beast, as well as just a very intelligent player, he's able to find situations and execute on them to get himself giant leads. And when you play against a more conservative team, it seems like this split he struggled a little bit more than last split to get the same leads. But FlyQuest, like you said, it's hard to tell exactly if he's bouncing back, because this is the kind of perfect opponent for him to play against.
Yeah, Zyrene said it in the cast. FlyQuest is setting the pace, but Envy basically is sitting there going, that's a perfect pace for us, right? So whereas other teams might be thrown by the speed at which FlyQuest moves and makes kind of erratic decisions, that's where Envy lives. And Lyra is very comfortable in those skirmish situations. 12:30 into the game, we have a 4-for-1 in the Barren River, goes entirely in the way of Envy, even though a few of them get out with slivers of hell.
Yeah, it started off with a pretty close game. Like you said, there's a lot of mid-action. Kills were being traded fairly evenly, and then this is the big fight that breaks their way. This huge chase on the Seraph. He's actually going to be able to get out just barely. Lyra comes in to play Superman, save him at the last possible second here, kicks him away. Seraph walks out, actually turns around, comes back into the fight, and on the flip side, because they have wasted so many resources in some sense trying to choke down onto Seraph, that Lyra's able to turn around with Hakuho, and they're able to clean up a couple more kills. And this is what we're saying. You see these long-range Q snipes being able to barely keep Seraph alive. These scrappy situations where the last couple seconds are super important are exactly the kinds of places that Lyra will thrive.
Yeah, very much so. So it'll be no surprise that he picks up player of the game. And once again, we have a gold graph that nears 20K at the end of the game and was almost entirely one-sided in Envy's favor. And this is the thing with this squad, is that I love to see the early leads that they come away with. I love to see that with these massive leads, they can close it out. And now I'm waiting for the situation with Niski in the roster for for the more even 2K gold advantage at 20 minutes, 1.5K, or even a 2K deficit at 20 minutes, and how do they fight back from that position?
I think Game 2 was a good game in terms of just showing that Niski can get out of lane and roam around. He moved to Seraph's lane a couple times, met up with Lyra once or twice, so you can see there's some glimpses of things that look good for Envy and places that they can build on, as well as the fact that he just seems like a legitimate carry threat potentially. The big thing, like you said, is what happens in a game where they're behind, and I think the late game shot calling hopefully will come. It was something that was a struggle last split, but Apollo's playing a lot better.
Yes.
Lyra, if he starts getting back into last season form, it's still not bad, by the way. Like, Lyra's still a beast in a lot of games, but it's just not every game has looked like this.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing, is if those two forces come together and they figure out mid-game a little bit, and Niski can continue to influence side lanes, I think this team has a really bright future.
Either way, they're sitting at 4-4. I mean, compared to the record that they had in spring, they're already on pace to do so much better here in the summer split. Now, as we close out our weekend, let's go ahead and take a look at who racked up the most player of the games in week 4. Jensen, Svenskeren, and Smithy each picked up 2 accolades this week, while Bjergsen and 18 others grabbed 1 each. As we look at the split-wide standings, though, you can see that Smithy has pulled ahead at 6 POGs this split, leaving behind the likes of Jensen, Shrimp, and Someday, who only have 4 to their name. That's nothing to scoff at, having 4 to your name, but man, Smithy this split has just been a rock star.
It's just such a night and day performance difference between last split and this one. And he was always good in the early game, but this time around you see like these 18-minute crazy Gragas ultimates that make your head turn around.
Predicted Gragas ult. I could replay that 12 times.
Yeah, exactly. So those kinds of plays, and he's doing them relatively consistently, is just huge for the team.
Now, those were the individuals who performed this weekend. Now let's take a look at the standings and see where the teams all landed. With their win today, TSM promote to 2nd place alongside Counterlogic Gaming, while Cloud9 boost their record to 5-3, putting them in 4th next to Team Dignitas. Teams will have a chance to further shake up the standings with our matches on Friday. Week 5 starts with a rematch of the spring finals as Cloud9 takes on TSM. After that, Mike Young and Phoenix One face off against Lyra and Team Envy. That might be an interesting test for Team Envy. Once again, still playing against a team that's sitting at 1-7 in Phoenix One at this point. But Mike Young, who's looked decent in the early game and can match a lot of junglers in the early game, might give Lyra a bit of a run for his money, as well as looking at the playmaker of Ryu up against Niski, the rookie. We'll see how those matchups swing.
I think the other thing, of course, is to mention that, P1 lost today, and a large part of that seemed because, like, Reignover got the better of Mike Young, and you're going up against Lyra, who's a beast in and of himself, kind of different, a lot more mechanically proficient, less of, like, a pathing intelligence. I mean, obviously Lyra's good at that, too, might be a better style match for Mike Young because he wants to get in and fight Lyra a ton, whereas Reignover's willing to path away from that and just make things happen somewhere else.
Either way, I think it's crazy that I'm saying the 10th place team is going to give a run, to the team sitting at 500, but I truly feel that way with Mike Young being added to the roster. Now, you joined the conversation on Twitter to call out the biggest plays of the weekend, and here are a few that we agreed were pretty insane, brought to you by Acer. First up, El Nitino knows a good barrel when he sees one. That was the best Gragas ult I've ever seen. Smithy is suddenly a god again. Take a look.
Well, speaking of kills, though, Smithy running low.
Oh my God!
That ball, the freaking explosive cast was insane!
Bow down to the new jungle. God! How about this? Predicting the flash, knowing his opponent will go on the cast animation, predictive cast there. That was absurd. That was so good.
How about the camera work? Spinning around on top, that was pretty sick too.
Camera work, pretty good. I said I could watch it 12 more times. We just want to roll that out, 11 more?
No.
No? Okay, fine. I'll go home and watch it. Up next, Kenan French celebrated Lorlo's huge game on Jarvan, saying Quadra is a pretty good way to end the series. Woo!
They will try to take him down. The re-engage, then a big knockup and a double kill here for the top laner. Lorlo staying alive, and the kill still coming through. Zig very, very low, ready to get chopped down, and it's going to be a Quadra kill for Lorlo.
Kill Cassio. Okay. I kill them all. Push mid. Push mid. Push mid. Push mid. Nice, guys. See you, nerds.
Slushy rather, jacking the pentakill.
Yeah, I thought, Lorlo was going to pop off way harder in the comms. He's usually a pretty excitable guy. We had woo before the rolled out, and then he was just like...
Didn't even match my woo. What's
mid.
up with that?
Yeah, I know. You had more energy.
All right, finally, True Blue Lou couldn't ignore Flame's multiple outplays in his series against Dignitas, saying, "This is why Flame is my favorite top laner of all time. 1v2, 1v3, 1v4. Nah, you got to send 5 guys."
Not sure if Flame is killable, though. He's going to try to hug the wall, get away from some of these.
Oh, that was so well done.
All the CC. Now Shrimp's going to force to dodge the aggro. All the vitals do get proc, but Flame by a lot more time gets the first kill, and Someday almost dies the turret as well. The significant outplay out of Flame in the top lane.
Oh, that was insane from Flame. The early ultimate clears the wave exceptionally fast, dashes back, immediate flash. That is very low time to actually be able to do that. The clear on the wave meant that the turret is on them very early here, and then the HP coming out gives him survivability to take down Shrimp, and almost got Someday there too. He's gonna have to play this very well, though. There's a ton of CC, and the turret reset. He needs to dive down towards the bottom members.
Holds up, means he's going to land a
Oh, he
stun
lands
here
the
on a
stun.
Shrimp, buying a bit more time. Stun's going to land there, gets the big heal lick. It's going to be Big, who's okay though. And now the float's
He's gonna
back
get
on a Shrimp, and again, he just crushes down the spider. Itsy bitsy, the water spout is gone. The flash, the chase, Someday wants him, the stun's
he's
going to
gonna
land.
stun.
He's put in
He's
the
out.
grand duel, and there's no damage to be had. Flame is unstoppable.
What a monster! If the 1v2 wasn't enough, how about the 1v3? How about the delayed 1v4 with Someday committing 2 summoner spells? Flame gets out without even having his flash. This guy's a monster.
I mean, you said night and day for Smithy from spring to summer, and I'm not going to call Flame necessarily an underperformer individually through spring, but we weren't seeing stuff like this.
No, definitely unlocked. Something happened. They got new water bottles. Who knows exactly what they're doing different.
Phoenix 1 got fidget spinners, and Immortals must have gotten water bottles or something. Yeah.
Something to energize the players because they're all looking so much better than they did last split. Yeah, pretty much across the board.
Yeah, something's gelling with that team. Of course, we've had interviews with Poe Belter, for example, where he has talked about Smithy and his veteran status being able to come in and very much provide that calming voice to the team that puts everyone in a position to make these plays with confidence, and it is working out for them so far. That's going to do it for us, though, this weekend. So for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and make sure to join us after the show for NALCS Tonight, where myself, Azael, and Jat will break down the weekend's games. Otherwise, we'll see you next week for more North American LCS. Good night.